Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks, Futures, and Forex Market Preview with a little bit of crypto thrown in for the week beginning Sunday the 9th of January 2022, ending Friday the 14th. This is not options expiration because first day of the month was Monday, first day of the month was Saturday. So January's options expiration will actually be on the 21st. Keep in mind that next Monday the 17th is a holiday for MLK. Markets are closed, banks are closed, everything's closed. So that means we're leading into a 3-day weekend. Oftentimes Friday will be dull, but we'll see what we get. Here's a look at the dollar index first, daily chart. Obviously this thing's so flat now since prior to Thanksgiving. We've been sitting here for 2 months plus. Not a lot to say when you look at the euro dollar. It's just the inverse of the dollar index, has done nothing. It's basically been untradeable. You're talking about 150 pips of range for 2 months. That's just horrible. Pound dollar up though a little bit. That's kind of where we're having to make all of our calls there because it's the only thing moving. Aussie dollar, not much there, and the euro yen up, and the pound yen up as well over the last. But again, this is small ranges for the year. It's covered the whole range in the last month, as you can see. In terms of intra-week action, what we see on the pound and the euro, here's the pound. High to low for the week was only 160 pips or so. Not much there. And the euro dollar, like I said, pretty bad. High to low for the week was barely 100 pips. So has not been the most interesting market. Forex has not been. And so we'll just move on. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. Going to look at this from a couple perspectives. Obviously, the daily chart, we sold off a bit this week finally. When you look, remember, we come back from the new year. Nobody wanted to sell anything in December. You got the December effect because everyone wants to hold their gains, not get taxed until a year from now. But once you get into January, they can obviously go back and start selling, and they started to do that. When I look at the weekly chart, I should point out we've got another 13 sell signal. How do these work? Okay, they're exhaustion signals. They work about 70 to 80% of the time. One thing that we know, though, is that when you get one, and then which we did back in like April of last year, and then you break the risk line of that quickly, in other words, the signal does not work, and then you get another one fairly quickly afterwards, the odds of it working go up quite a bit, more closer to the 85, 90 percentile. So what that says is you can see the one that failed last year. We immediately started a new one, and we got the 13 here now. And so that means, a lot more likely that we're going to go back at least to that red static trend line that you see there. Let's also take a look really quick at the monthly chart of the ES, which recycled. So there's no count going on there at this moment. Well, I've got the monthlies up. Let's look at the NASDAQ itself. Nothing there. If I do the weeklies, nothing there either. Okay, so that's it. All right, so let's go through the major cash indices. I got the S&P was down 19.02 on Friday. It had gotten all the way to a 12 on the daily chart. NASDAQ 100 down 173. This thing got beat up this week. Remember, that one had a 13 sell signal on the daily right in the last week or so of the year, and has now rolled over. And again, red static trend line there at 14,800 would be the ultimate first target. So, it feels like that's where we're going. We're actually at lows since November, October at this point in time. The SOX down 112. Nothing great about that. Biotech's down 41.57. That's new lows for the last basically year on biotech. That's not pretty. The Russell 2000 down 26, also not pretty. Getting back near the lows. Crude oil is down 52 cents to 78.94. Gold up $7.30. This thing's been so stuck in a range for so long now. Doesn't seem to care about whatever inflationary stuff people think is out there, which implies maybe that the inflation is transitory. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ negative 554. So more stocks were down than up on Friday. On the New York was plus 77. So just basically even, about a couple more stocks up than down. NASDAQ volume only 4.2 billion shares on Friday. That's a dip from the first, from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which was much stronger. Even Monday was better than Friday. This last week, we got the trend closing on Friday at 0.64. That puts the 10-day at 0.93. But if I count backwards 10 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nothing major. No high numbers are about to drop off till Wednesday. So it's going to be hard to get that moving average down. VIX slides 85 cents back to 1876. It was on the rise a bit this week. Apple up 17 cents off the highs. Now Amazon down 14, getting near the lows of the last 6+ months. Facebook down 67 cents. Google loses 14.61. Goldman Sachs up 58 cents. Netflix down $12.23. Again, look at that 13 sell signal was right on the money with Netflix. Peloton up $1.72, but this thing's down so far. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down $1.03. Tesla loses 37.74. And you got, by the way, look at the 13 sell signal there, the gap up on earnings, and then plop. Zoom down $4.73. New lows there for a while. I should point out Bitcoin is sitting around 41,000. This thing got to 40,000 over the weekend here, which is back near the lows from September. So giving back all those gains where we got up to 70,000 or so. Let's look at the ES intra-week. Sorry, let's go to the, not the 5, but the 10-minute candle so we can see the whole week. And what you'll see is that we kind of had a flat opening on Monday and mostly a flat day, closed slightly positive. Tuesday, a small gap up. That's the high of the week. Came back, filled the gap, and closed right around where we had started the week. Wednesday, also a flat opening sideways, and then the plunge that sold off Wednesday and into Thursday. Got a little rebound, filled all the gaps along the way. Friday, kind of a flat opening, eventually dipped a little, but it came back. So nothing super exciting there. NASDAQ 100, or the NASDAQ future is pretty much the same, right? All right, so that's a look at the indices and everything else. When we talk about what's going on in the market, in terms of, I'm sorry, what's going on in the economic calendar, let's take a look at this week. Hold on. I'm going to focus more on the U.S. stuff. We've got a couple things like the unemployment rate out of Europe and things like that. Japan's on a bank holiday to start the week. Anyways, Sentex consumer investor confidence, leading indicators out of Japan. No U.S. data to speak of. Final wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. on Monday, but really nothing there. Tuesday, NFIB small business index, got some Fed members speaking. Again, no real data up to that point. China's got their CPI and PPI overnight going into Wednesday. Economy watchers sentiment out of Japan. Industrial production out of Europe. Now the CPI here in the U.S., that's one of our big three, and obviously with the inflationary stuff, it is a number everybody's watching right now, so we'll see what that does. We'll be half size for Forex Tuesday night going into that. Crude oil inventory is at 10:30, 10-year bond auction at 1, Fed beige book at 2. Thursday we got the PPI, the initial and continuing jobless claims number. That's the weekly number, not the headline number, which we had last week. Natty gas, 30-year bond auction. We got trade balance out of China, and then we're already into Friday. Construction output and GDP out of the UK. French final CPI out of Europe. Trade balance out of Europe. Retail sales here in the U.S. along with import-export prices, industrial production, capacity utilization, preliminary University of Michigan sentiment, business inventories here in the U.S. all on Friday, and then another Fed member speaking. So Wednesday, it's the most exciting looking week. That CPI is going to be a big one, though, I suppose. And again, we're heading into a 3-day weekend with next Monday being off. So we'll see what we get there. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.